Good evening, LTL Nation. This is Fadi Gwanny, and we are finally live. This week we're talking about relationships. And like everything in life, once we are in a state of misinformation, we tend to suffer unnecessarily. The whole concept of suffering simply designs the idea of unnecessarily right to it. So this is Live Talks Live, and this is Fadi Gwanny, and bear with me the next 7 minutes as we pinpoint some of the basic misinformations about relationships that we have. And based on those misinformations, how we tend to suffer tremendously. Now think about it. Misinformation is basically, it's based on the information we gather as we grow up, the things we observe around us, the conditioning we are within. And when it comes to understanding that information and how we gain wrong information across, take for example, traffic. Now, when we get into traffic, we are almost programmed to stress, get angry, because we've observed people do that all across. However, if I think about it in any possible, acceptable way, a way that actually serves me, the second I hit traffic, this is time for me. There is nothing I can change about the condition I'm in. Resisting it will cause me to suffer unnecessarily, and that's what we've been doing for a long time and forever. We get into traffic, we start stressing out for no reason. But what if I take this time for myself? What if I relax, listen to some music, call people I haven't called in a long time? What happens then? I don't have to suffer. I'm not in a state of resistance anymore. So let's take this ideology, let's take this concept that we have some misinformation, that we have some basic ideas about how relationships should be and how it's supposed to serve us. And because of that information, we suffer. Let's start with number one, a very intense concept that I can be happy or happier once I'm in a relationship. Now, to all single people out there, I don't want to be a buzzkill, I don't want to really throw you off, but if you're not happy now, you're not going to be happy in a relationship either. Now, this is a piece of information, and I think it's quite cultural. Once you get married, you'll be fine. Once you're with someone and that person is taking care of you, you'll be fine. Once your needs are met in a certain way, you'll be fine. And that's not true. If you're not happy now, if you're not fulfilled now, if you're not in a straight state of true gratitude to the life you've been building for these years, what you've achieved so far, if you're not happy now, you're not going to be happy in a relationship either. So watch people dream and hope that once they're in connection with someone, once they find that one person, they will be saved. And then they get married, or they hook up, or they're in any basic relationship. And guess what happens? It's the same state of unhappiness, of dissatisfaction, but this time they have someone to blame it for. Because at first they blamed the world, they blamed their bosses, they blamed the almighty creator, they blamed everything around them for their unhappiness. They're not true to themselves, they're not trying to dig deep. So they're in a state of blaming and complaining. Please guys, if you're dating, notice your partner. If they're in a constant state of complaining and blaming, once you guys really get deeper together, the subject or the object of blame will shift from whatever it is they're blaming and complaining about right now to you. Because the idea is not a matter of what they can or cannot do in their lives as much as it's a matter of how they see life, how they victimize themselves, how they constantly see themselves helpless. There's nothing we can do. Right? So the idea is once they get into a relationship, well, it's not going to be everything they expect. Once you get close to someone, you're getting into their deeper circles. All those masks they've been putting on to please you, well, they're going to drop. And they're going to expose to you who they are. So if you think about it on a basic level, the only thing that's going to happen if you're with a complaining and blaming person is that once you get deeper and connected, they're just going to blame and complain about you. It's a mind pattern, you see. It's how things have been always happening for them. Nothing around them is wrong, but they have a simple dysfunctional mind pattern. Happy to see you again, though. So practically speaking, if you're not happy before getting into a proper relationship, chances are you're not going to be happy after. So you have to seek your happiness now. Don't postpone it to the future. Because once you get there, you're going to do the exact same thing. So you're married now, well, you're not happy anymore, so you're going to find something else to postpone your happiness to. It might be a divorce. It might be actually having kids. So once you have kids, you're like, once I have kids, I'm going to be happy. And then you have kids, and it's like a train running into a brick wall. Because for the first couple of years, you don't have those beautiful images of fathers walking down their kids down the garden or throwing them in the air. You have a few moments of those, but mainly it's diapers and feeding them and waking up midnights. So you're going to have to work towards that beautiful picture. Again, if you're in a state of complaining and blaming, guess who you're going to blame for your sad life now? So ultimately, we have to go deeper into ourselves. If we're not happy now, relationships is not going to fix that. If we're not content with our lives now, if we're not excited now, that's not going to be accomplished within relationships. So this is one of the basic, most misinformation we have. And it's due to a lot of cultural pressure. Watch how everybody's pushing you towards marriage and relationships, like you have to. Because if you don't, it's not going to work for you. And if you're not happy now, that's your medicine. That's not true. I've seen tons of people in unhappy relationships and divorce relationships, and everything is falling apart because they didn't figure that part out. And they were misinformed. That they can just have a quick fix, a spoon of medicine, and life is pure magic. So ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, this is one of the most basic misinformation that we have. If you're about to get into a relationship, please run a check on yourself and on your partner. If you're not at the stage where you are fully ready to engage with another human being, if you're not settled within, please, you need to start working towards that. And observe it over your partner, so you can at least know what to expect later when things go serious and real. So ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I'd like to invite you all, 8th of April, the summit of Life Talks Live, the first time ever, all 7 coaches from 7 different countries around the world are gathering into one day, one seminar, one summit, one workshop. And we're all dedicating day and night of thinking and planning and how to completely shift your lives. Please check the event on the fan page. Visit our website at www.lifetalkslive.com, and we will be more than happy to serve you and help you. And a little hint, the faster you book, the faster you reserve, you are entitled to a full hour with a coach of your choice from the 7 coaches, one-on-one, to start you off. Have a beautiful and blessed evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you again shortly next week.